Good morning. I hope everybody's having a good start to their day. I'm on my way to Nashville, Tennessee to rehearse for this weekend's show in Somerset at Master Musicians Fest. And I've had a lot on my mind, and I felt like I needed to share what I was thinking. Trying to get out of where I live without hitting somebody, but I've just not been feeling very good the last couple days. I went on vacation, but I don't know how much of a vacation it ended up being, just because I played music every night. It's hard doing that, because it's playing music itself isn't hard. Emotionally, I think, is what is hard, because you have to give so much emotionally in that setting. And playing where we played, it was fun. I mean, I played with my brother and Grayson Jenkins and Wes and Aaron Smith, and that was really good. But just being in that sort of touristy environment, it was kind of soul-sucking in retrospect. But I think more so than that, I drank. I drank every day for the most part, and I'm not really the drinker that I once was, and I'm just noticing how much it affects me. It's not so much that I'm hungover, but it just, like, emotionally, I feel down, and like the edge of, like, depression. Like, I've been in deep depression before, and I just never, I guess, going from not really drinking much to drinking regularly. And when I say that, I mean, I'm talking about probably, 5 or 6 beers. And it's not even that I feel really drunk, but it's just like getting up and at it the next day to emotionally, just be where I want to be, if that makes sense. It's tough, and I'm just learning more and more how sensitive my mind is to substance. And I ate bad too, and it's so easy to just check out, drink a bunch, eat crappy food, enjoy the moment, I guess is what I tell myself. But it's just interesting to me, the long term, like it's almost like the rebound effect. It's like I don't feel bad in the moment. I don't Don't feel bad. Really, I didn't feel bad the next day, but it's like after a week of that, and I didn't drink 5 or 6 beers every day, but my birthday, I probably had 5 or 6 shots of tequila. And I don't know, 4 or 5 beers. And I didn't feel too great the next day. Really foggy in my head. And I was having this conversation. I have this conversation with musicians all the time because that environment is so conducive to drinking and the party and the good time, and it's a slippery slope because it's everybody's time to let go and unwind, and alcohol seems to be a big conduit for letting go. I don't know if that's the right word or not, but it's easy to do. And my question that I raised with my friend Grayson was, when a hangover occurs, like I was really feeling it in my head. And I didn't know if, is the hangover, I think there's the physical part of it that, it's all physical, but I mean, there's like dehydration and those type of things that you're feeling, but is it also your body withdrawing, like going into withdrawal? Like, does it happen that fast that your body needs it? Because you always hear about hair of the dog, like, the best thing for a hangover is another drink. And it's like almost like alcohol is taking the place of water. And that's just a scary thing to me. It's like that your body, it only, if that is the case, I'm not a doctor, and I don't know anything other than, my own, what I know, but it's just scary that your body can, if that is the case, that your body can go into withdrawal that fast. And I don't know what that, I guess I'm just saying, like, I don't know what I'm saying. But it's just to circle back around, just it's affected me this week more so than last week. And I guess just thinking now, getting it out, it's like just to people, musicians in particular, because I know that friends that struggle with alcohol and substance, and just what you put into your body, it literally becomes you. And if you're not putting good stuff into yourself, then don't be surprised if you don't feel good. I don't know that we always take responsibility for the things that we put into our bodies, and then a week later when you're feeling down, you're like, what is wrong with me? Why do I feel this way? well, you spend a week boozing and eating terrible, not terribly, but I tried to eat at least some watermelon. Like, I know it's like that's not much, but I felt better about myself eating that, and I felt like I was getting something good in me to like combat the alcohol. But yeah, I don't really know. I know where to go. I just, other than just be mindful of what you're eating and drinking, and there doesn't have to be a point or a lesson or a moral of the story. I tend to do that. Like, there's got to be a moral of the story, but yeah, something to think about. Alcohol is something that I struggle with. I don't feel like I'm addicted to it, but it's just like I do enjoy it, and I think that it scares me sometimes how much I do enjoy it. And I don't drink that much, but it's just so easy, I think, energetically in social situations to go there, to go to the drink, because, you know, I think when you get in a room full of people, when you get in a place where people are talking and there's just a lot going on, that you get in that setting as a performer, and it's really vulnerable to in that situation, to sing. And I really like to talk, or I would prefer to talk. I'm not always in that situation, but I do enjoy explaining songs. And if you're in a situation where you're not able to share like fully, or you share but you're not being heard, it's just like, it's hard to do. It's hard because you're putting yourself out there and you're trying to connect. That's ultimately what I'm trying to do, is like, I'm trying to find that common ground with people. And it's just, when you've got alcohol, it makes it less, I feel like it makes you less vulnerable. Maybe it glazes over life, and it just makes it easier. You can kind of lean on the alcohol instead of like really giving yourself. So that's something that I've really been trying to work through and work on, is not just getting, and it's not just performing, it's any sort of like social situation where there's a bunch of people, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just observing it. I'm not saying that you shouldn't drink a beer if you want a beer, because like I said, I like beer. Liquor, I try to stay away from, because that's a different thing. But I do like beer, and I don't want it to sound like I'm putting anybody or anyone down for it. I'm just observing it from a psychological, sociological standpoint, that it's like, why I just saw my dad. It's awesome living in a small town. Just what makes us do what we do, and why we are the way we are. I spend a lot of my time going inward, because That's where songs are born for me. It's like I look out and then I look in. And not necessarily in that order, but yeah, so I'm working on not being so reactant to just the crowd, maybe. I don't know. I just I'm sort of regrouping my thought and where I was going. It's weird having a conversation with yourself and the hypothetical crowd or audience. You know, this is 16 minutes I've been talking, so that's a long time for someone to be listening. So if you're still with me, I appreciate it. But yeah, I don't know what makes us do what we do or why we do it. There's a infinite sea of causes and effects and why we do what we do. I feel like with me and alcohol, what I've learned is that it's just sort of a crutch for me to open up, or it's not a crutch, but it's a, like I said before, it's a conduit to allow to relax and open up. And I guess I'm just trying to, because it's not long term, it is not good for you. You know, I think in moderation, obviously, it can be okay if you're responsible with it and you keep your emotions and things in check. But it's just, I guess maybe I wanted to just share that with anybody that struggles with depression and substance, and even at a subtle level. It's like, just be careful, because we are just really sensitive, and it doesn't take much to knock us off center, at least me. So I don't know who pays attention to the moon, but I do. And it's for those of you that don't know, today is a full moon in July. There's two. This is one of the. It's rare this month. Has two new moons. July 2nd, today is the full moon, and then July 31st is a black moon. And you know, you've heard your whole life people talk about people act crazy on a full moon, and I tell you, I'm thankful to have the time to just think about things and to kind of notice how I feel, like separated from the hustle and bustle of a 9 to 5 every day. I feel like when you're in that world, it's easy to just stay in that mindset and not really think of outside of that. So I'm really lucky that I feel like, and it's a double-edged sword too, because too much thinking can just be not good. But this today, and yesterday, I was just feeling like a crazy person, like fed up with everybody and everything. What am I doing with my life? Why do I play music? Why have I chosen this path? You know, everybody's struggling. Not everybody's struggling, but everybody has. That's the one thing, is that we are all tied to this system of we need money, and it's hard to create if you're not going to a job and there's someone that's already put a working system in place. I guess as an entrepreneur, it's just really hard to live in that, because I'm creating something out of nothing, essentially. So I'm always having to think about everything. You know, I have to think months ahead of time to book shows, just have enough money to come in. So, you know, that can just be a lot, and I have trouble turning it off, because, you know, we like I said again, we're all just in this rat. I hate saying rat race, because it is what it is. I used to be really jaded. You know, I don't know if anybody else thinks this, but it's like, if there was no money in the world, that wasn't the system that we used. And Grayson Jenkins and I wrote a song called Post-Apocalyptic Appalachia, and it's basically about this idea that if, you know, the grid went down, and we were on the other side of that, it's like money would be useless, but we would still have to work to survive. That essentially living isn't free, and that money, though I do believe it's flawed, because greed is apparent, and I think that things shouldn't, like, you know, poverty and dirty water and bad food. When I say bad food, I just mean like the stuff that they put in most food is not processed food that we feed to Americans in the world. Like that's real. You know, that's not to. There's a lot of bad stuff in our food, and I just think that the resources and technology that we have, I don't think it has to be that way. But that's another. We're just going all over the place today. I'm just talking because I want to. And again, I'm if you're still with me after 23 minutes, I appreciate it. But I'm trying to think of my point, or where I was going. But yeah, I full moon, that's where I was at, and being fed up, you know, just and thinking about all this stuff. You know, it's easy just to get in my head and full moons, or at least this full moon, maybe it's, I don't know, I guess what the whole premise of, it's like feeling that way, and it's like, well, is it all the booze I drink? Is it a full moon combination with the full moon, and just if anybody believes in any astrology or your sign, I'm not an expert on any of that stuff, but I'm a Cancer. This is when I was born, and in different, I don't even know what you call it. I'll just say different circles. People believe that during the time of you were born, your month, your sign, like that's when you're like, when you came to Earth, that's when you're the most sensitive, I guess. And I tell you, I feel it. I really do. It's been an intense couple of days, and for one reason or another. And I guess it's letting go of needing to know what the reason is. But it's interesting to ponder, and I enjoy talking about it and getting out of my own head about it, because rabbit holes are real, and if you don't if you don't let it out and like hear yourself, because there's sometimes I'll say things that and like once it comes to the surface and I'm out loud, I'm like, man, what am I talking about? Like, that's not true, or that's not real. It's easy to get in your head about things. So yeah, I love, that's why I love playing music, especially with this band that I'm with now, the Morning Jays. It's an escape, and from reality. Truly, I feel like I feel so free getting to play with these guys and listening to them bring these songs to life. And I struggle because I don't get to do it as much as I want to. I got really burnt out on the road. Not really playing music that I was really fulfilled doing. It was fun, but that was another situation where, Sunday Best was built on, and it's not just limited to, because I don't want to just limit it to this, but a lot of it was the good time and the drinking and like the party, because we started out playing at Redmond's at a bar, and I was in the prime of my drinking, so to speak, and it's like that was what it was all about. And I think that for a lot of people, that's what it became, was just, we're going to go to these shows and just get as drunk as we possibly can. And that's not why I do it. Like, drinking is part of a celebration, obviously. Like I said, it's a conduit for letting go, but I'm just trying to get past that. And with this band, this music that I'm playing now, it's like I don't want to be drunk. I want to be there for it all. I want to experience it fully and remember it and feel what it feels like, because it feels so good to me. And but it's still a process, because just the environment is what it is. And I guess I'm just trying to cultivate within myself peace, and like, this awareness of how good it is and how I don't need to numb it down, and I don't have to be afraid. It's weird, but it's like I don't have to be afraid to give just what it is. Like, it's enough. So I just always feel like after I've had a weekend of shows with the Morning Jays, I just feel renewed. I feel like I just stepped out of like a warm bath and just relaxed. I feel like I'm my truest self when I get to do that. When I get to share with people. It's such a trap. My music and the whole, like, I feel like music is supposed to be for like community and like bringing people together and like celebration, the spirit of life and humans and with each other, and that gets lost. You know, it's a business. America is about the bottom line. You know, like it or not, that's why Donald Trump is our president. Because America is a business, and he's a businessman. And it's set up that people's lives, you know, people vote their pocketbook. And I hope my phone doesn't die. But I don't know. My phone's gonna die. I just hate to end on that note. But I love getting to play music. I wish I could do it. I wish I got to do it more. I'm working on that. I'm trying to get out of my own way to experience it fully. Without, it's like I've got this song. It's like, this time I'd like to stay sober, tell the stories I like to tell. When I say soberish, because it's like, it's, you know, fun sometimes to just drink a beer and sing songs for people, but I'm just talking, you know, there's no moral. That's the thing, I'm just a human talking. So thanks for listening if you've made it all the way through. It feels good for me to get to just talk and share with people, and that's to me the whole purpose of what I do is just I feel like people feel like they're alone in the world, and I have a lot of thoughts that I keep to myself, but the more that I share, the more I see that there's a lot of people that feel like I do about things, and I don't know everything at all. I'm thankful to just be able to articulate sometimes what I feel, and it's like I have another lyric I wrote a long time ago. It's like, I pray that what I say is what I mean when I don't. It's like that the truth will come through what I'm saying, even if I'm maybe not being so clear. Words, sometimes I just don't like to say anything too, because I think words sometimes they screw things up, because everybody's perception of words are different. So, I'm going to fill up with gas and get on to Nashville. I appreciate you if you've made it this far, and have a good day, and I hope I see you out on the road. Bye.